Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar. This is Leah Watts with Folk Alliance International. We are going to give everyone some time to join us today, and then we will get started. So just give us a few moments. Hi, everyone, again. Thank you, those that are still continuing to join us. We're going to give it just a few more moments before we get started to give everyone a chance to get in. And you guys should be able to hear everything, and you should be able to see our upcoming conference artwork. If you are joining us from a computer, we will have that PowerPoint to share with you after also, but you should be able to see it throughout the presentation. So just a few more minutes and we will be with you. Alrighty, well, we are going to go ahead and get started today. First, I just want to say my name is Leah Watts, and I am the Executive Assistant and Special Projects Coordinator here at Folk Alliance. I am super excited to have you all here today and to share all about our upcoming New Orleans conference. So again, thank you for joining us. Folk Ed is the program that we have for our webinars, and it's a part of FAI ongoing advocacy and outreach efforts with a goal to provide professional and career development opportunities. So throughout the year, we have different webinars focusing on different aspects of being a musician. A few things that I want to cover before we start today's webinar is if you are joining us from a computer, you should have a control panel showing up, and that allows you to ask questions throughout the presentation. I will be answering questions throughout. We will also have a few sections in the webinar where our two presenters, Jennifer Rowe and Tressa Levasseur, will be answering those questions. So anything you have, shoot them in the questions box of that control panel. You can also hide that control panel. There's a little orange arrow if you're not wanting to see that. And lastly, there is a handout that you can download. It is the presentation you'll be seeing throughout the webinar today. It will have links within. So throughout the presentation, if there's something that's talked about that you want to explore more, you can download that handout, click on those links, and it'll take you to our website where you can learn even more. So let's get started. Folk Alliance International starts all public meetings, concerts, and industry events with a land acknowledgement. This is done to show respect for Indigenous peoples, to recognize their unique culture and enduring relationship to the land, and to raise awareness about histories that are often suppressed or forgotten. FAI acknowledges that our office is located on the traditional territory of the Osage and Khan nations. We also acknowledge that this year's conference takes place on the ancestral lands of the Atkapa Ishak, Kadu, Chitimacha, Choctaw, Huma, Natchez, and Tunica peoples. We also recognize the Alabama, Biloxi, Coasati, and Ofo peoples, and others who were pushed into Louisiana from their ancestral lands. We invite all attending the conference to learn with us about the Indigenous peoples, histories, and present-day communities in Louisiana. We extend our gratitude to the original inhabitants of this land and to their present community members. So again, welcome. This is the Insider's Guide to FAI Conference, New Orleans edition, with Tressa Levasseur, our Outreach Coordinator, and Jennifer Rowe, our Director of Operations, and I will let them take it away.
Hi, everybody. My name is Tressa Levasseur. My pronouns are she and her, and I live in Hamilton, Ontario, on the traditional territories of the Mississauga and Haudenosaunee peoples. I'm a Francophone Canadian, and I'm proud to be the outreach coordinator after having been a showcasing artist in the past and also a volunteer.
And my name is Jennifer Rowe. My pronouns are she, her. I'm the Director of Operations at Folk Alliance. I've been with the organization since they moved to Kansas City in 2013. And this is my 7th conference that I've worked on, which is really exciting. We are thrilled to invite you to New Orleans, and it takes a huge team to put this on. Here is a picture of our conference staff. I'm not going to go through everyone, but they're beautiful faces, and please, if you see them at the conference, introduce yourselves. We like to, I know I personally love to connect faces with names that I've been seeing in emails throughout the year. A couple of people that are missing from this list, I want to mention our interns. We have 3 interns on staff. There's Fawn, they are our communications and graphic design intern. Zach is working with Jared on registration. And Elizabeth is working with me for conference-related items. And then we have a new staff member who isn't directly involved with the conference, but his name is Jay Gilman, and he is working on Ethno USA. If you want to learn more about this project, go to our website, or you can speak with Jay directly during the conference in the exhibit hall. But we're thrilled to have you.
Okay, so let's jump into the content of today's webinar. The webinar is going to consist of 4 separate sections. You can see them listed here. The first is preparing for the conference. Then we're going to run through some practical tips, programming at the conference, and finally we'll cover what we suggest you do post-conference to make the most of your experiences. Remember, if you have any questions at all, you can post them in the little pop-up control panel, and Leah is responding to each question individually. And if there's a group question, or if there's a question that comes up a number of times, it will be addressed at the end of a couple of the sections. And we'll have a Q&A at the end of the webinar as well. So step 1 to attending is to register for the conference. I'm sure many of you have already registered, but if you have not, it's a great time to do it. We're very proud to be in partnership with the Louisiana Office of Cultural Development and the Atchafalaya National Heritage Area to present our conference this year. Through the partnership, all musicians, music industry representatives, and cultural sector workers who are residents of the state of Louisiana will receive a reduced rate of 50% off the current registration fees. So currently, speaking of current registration fees, we are in our regular rate, although we do sell registrations year round, and you can kind of see those a little bit muted out there on our graph. Our rates are going to be even higher. They'll be at their highest on site at the conference. So if you haven't registered yet, it's a great idea to register before the conference. And a reminder that all pricing on our website is in US dollars. So for members to register right now, it's $500 for an individual And if you are registering as a group of 3 or more people, there is a $75 discount per person. And that's like a band, for example. And for non-members, it's $600 currently for individuals, with, again, a $75 discount per person for groups of 3 or more people. We do have a cancellation policy, and rather than just rhyme it off right now, I'll let you know that it can be found under the Attend tab on our website, or you can use the links that'll be provided in the download of this webinar, which will be sent to you after the webinar closes when you receive your survey. And if you have any further questions, you can call the office extension 101.
Yes, and there are many ways to get a discount to attend the conference. One thing, as Tressa mentioned, you can see there's a $100 savings if you become a member of Folk Alliance. Membership starts at $70 for an individual, but the more people you add to your membership, the more you will save. A group membership covers 5 people and is only $150. Also, if you applied for an official showcase way back in the late spring, early summer, you can use a discount code as well. At this point, it gives $150 off the rate. If you cannot find that code, feel free to reach out to the office. We're happy to provide it to you. International attendees, those coming in from outside North America, also receive an additional discount. Please contact the office for that code. Folk Alliance is proud to offer scholarships to people. Unfortunately, most of our scholarships are closed. We already provided 115 scholarships to artists. We had a folk DJ scholarship, but our industry scholarship is still open. There's a rolling deadline for that. There are currently 65 people that have received this scholarship, which is a complimentary registration. And last year we provided over 100 complimentary registration to industry. That's your media, agents, managers, or like publicists, labels. If you fall under that and you've not attended the conference, please fill out the conference or the scholarship application. You do need to be a member to apply for a scholarship. We also have a first-time presenter program. This provides a complimentary registration to those who book artists. If you fit this, you can reach out to Tressa. Her email is tressa@folk.org. And an easy way is our referral program. To qualify for this discount, you need to be a member, but if you are referring a first-timer to come to the conference, ask them to put your name in a little box during registration to identify you as the person that referred them. Last year after the conference, we send out checks to people that qualify. We sent out $5,850 last year to 85 different people. Most were for $50, but one person received $200 and 20 people received $100 or more. So hey, it's nice to get a little bonus in the spring. We suggest you do that. And then volunteering is an excellent way. We cannot put on the conference without our volunteers. We have about 250 volunteers, and right now there are only 30 spots available. Volunteering requires you to donate 16 hours as a member, 22 hours as a non-member, and this grants you 100% comped registration. If you have any questions about that, you can reach out to our volunteer coordinator, which is Beth. She'd be happy to answer any questions.
And I will just say, we love our volunteers as a follow-up to that item. So let's talk about traveling to and from the conference now and all of the details around that. So there are a number of travel discounts that Folk Alliance has organized, and those are also under the ever popular Attend tab on our website. And our website, for those of you who don't know, is folkconference.org. You can also use our Facebook notice board page. And if you're not connected to that, I highly recommend it. It's a great place to find information and to connect with other delegates. And you can often organize a ride share or a room share through the Facebook notice board. If you are traveling to the USA from abroad, the first thing I'm going to recommend is that you check out our website under the tab Information for Non-US Attendees. So that's again under the Attend menu. If you're an officially showcasing artist, you've already received a letter about your showcase, which can be used to support your entry into the United States. And if you're coming from Canada, Canadians who are not working any paid or public performances other than Folk Alliance in the US, which is not a paid or a public performance, they can continue to clear immigration with just that border crossing letter that you have found on our website, plus, of course, your passport. But for folks coming from other countries, there is something called the ESTA, the Electronic System for Travel Authorization. And there's a couple of categories you can fall into. Citizens of 38 participating countries, and those are listed on the ESTA website. Those countries, citizens of those countries, qualify for the Visa Waiver Program, which allows you to travel to the United States without a visa for a stay of 90 days or less when you meet all of the requirements. And again, I do urge you to go to our website and check out that link and then click on the hyperlinks to sort of navigate through all of the things you'll need to put in place. The traveler must be eligible to use the Visa Waiver Program and have a valid ESTA approval prior to travel. It is advised that ESTA travelers consider securing also a B-class visa in advance from a U.S. embassy in their country to guarantee access to the U.S. For folks not coming from the 38 participating countries of the Visa Waiver Program, you will require a non-work visiting visa. And if paid employment is part of your intended time in the US to attend our conference, if you're being paid apart from our conference, we don't pay anyone, you must obtain a work visa in advance, which is separate from this process. So it's quite an involved process. Again, if you need more clarification or a link to something, you can always check that link on our website, or you can reach out and ask us questions, and we will do our very best to steer you in the right direction.
Thank you. Well, a little bit about our accommodations. Our host hotel, the Sheraton New Orleans, is 100% booked, and it has been that way for a little while. If you have questions about the hotel, please contact the hotel directly. We do have a list of overflow hotel options on our website under the Attend tab hotels, and you'll see various links, but you're welcome to do whatever you want. That page also lists options for parking and large vehicles or RVs in New Orleans. If you're considering alternative accommodations, the neighborhoods closest to the hotel are the French Quarters, the Central Business District, and the Lower Garden District. And if you have rooms or are looking to share a room, just as Tressa had mentioned, please visit our conference notice board, as this tends to be the most active place. People are often posting on that regarding it. Transportation around the hotel is a little bit limited right now. I'm sure many of you heard about a recent building collapse. That was just a few blocks from the hotel. So some of the streetcars are not running as they typically are. So please, if you're planning on staying off site, consider that and make alternative arrangements to get to the hotel. And then to let you know, transportation from the hotel, from the airport, taxis are about $36 one way. We do have a shuttle option. It's not on our website yet, but it will be on our website in the next week or so, a discounted rate of $40 round trip per person or $24 one way.
Okay, and now that you're in New Orleans from the airport or wherever you've come from, so much could be said about New Orleans and all of the incredible cultural and cuisine offerings, even the architecture. There's so much available. So we thought we would recommend that you check out, as a starting point for your research, the link that you see before you on this webinar, acloserwalknola.com. This is a New Orleans music map, and it's put together by WWOZ, which is one of our community partners, and they are a stalwart leader in the New Orleans cultural community, and it's a really fascinating way to get oriented in the town. So high recommend there.
Yeah. Well, let's move from travel and logistics to part 2, practical tips for conference success. So what are your goals? Be specific and targeted before you come. Determine why you are coming to Folk Alliance and write it down. Are you coming to build relationships with potential future team members? Are you interested in getting people to attend your showcase or booking a tour in the Southeast? What do you want to do? Making peer connections with another country? Just think about what your goal is and then look at the attendee list. One of the member benefits is that you can see the contact information when you download the attendee list. Identify who you need to talk with in order to meet your goals, and reach out to those people in advance to set up meetings during the conference. And please do not mass email. That will only make people angry. You need to make each email personal.
So speaking of personal, I'll just circle back for a quick second to Jennifer's advice that you be specific with your goals. And I'll share with you that the first time I attended Folk Alliance as an official showcasing artist, I had a lot of goals. I wanted an agent, I wanted a manager, I wanted to tour the US, I wanted to tour Europe, and I thought I could do it all in 4 days. And the fact of the matter is that I likely would have used my time more effectively if I'd really taken a look at what I wanted to do specifically and chosen 1 or 2 of those goals. Once you've chosen 1 or 2 goals and you've scoured the list and you've made your connections, I would encourage you to make a schedule, and keeping your goals in mind, just review the schedule that we have currently up on our website. It's again under, you guessed it, attend tab. It's number 2 down. It's called schedule. Schedule at a glance is way further down, and that's sort of an overview all on one page. But the schedule link there is quite detailed. Take a look at all the panels that we're offering. We have some fantastic folks, like top of the industry, who are sharing their knowledge on a variety of subjects, and choose a couple panels to attend that really dovetail with your goals. Yeah, and just be really focused. And I think you will find that your goals are much more easily achieved when you've just set a few things in place for yourself.
Great. Well, moving on, there are a few things that require advanced sign up. So the first thing is our accelerator program. Our accelerator programs are scheduled for Wednesday. We host 3 accelerators, one for artist entrepreneurs, agents, and managers. Each accelerator will present a full day session with topics designed to guide your career and connect you with peers and mentors. These are on Wednesday, and the price point right now is $75, and the price increases to $100 mid-December. You are required to be registered for the conference in order to attend these. The sessions have limited enrollment, so just to keep classes small. So make sure if you are interested in this, there was an email that was sent out yesterday. It was our first of our conference weeklies, had very detailed information on how to find out more information about the accelerators. The other items are the summits. This year's main summit focus is the Cultural Equity Summit. It's on Thursday. There's not a fee to attend, but we are interested in understanding how many people will be attending that. So in the same email that you received yesterday, there is an RSVP link. And then we are holding space for the 2nd International Indigenous Music Summit. This is a summit that is for Indigenous people. You're welcome to learn more information about this to see if you qualify to attend. There's a link in the same email, or if you go onto our website under the Attend tab, and there is a section for programming. And then the Lewis J. Myers Music Camp, several of the classes are free, and most of the classes have a very small price point of $10 through the end of this month if you sign up in advance, $15 starting January 1st, and then $20 on site. Go to our website under the same section, Attend. That's a really busy place on our website. You'll find more information, or in the email that was sent out yesterday.
Yeah, and that's under programs. I think it's under programs, which is under Attend.
Yes, thank you.
And I'm going to chime in here, Jennifer, just to talk about one more thing that's going to require advanced sign up, and that is our business to business, or we call them B2B, on artist mentorship meetings. And those are happening on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of the conference. So in the past, we've had them just on a single day, and then we had them on a couple of days, and now we're having them on all 3 days. And what those are is they're a series of short 10-minute windows for the industry meetings, 15-minute windows for the artist mentorship meetings. And it's an opportunity for delegates to sign up and have a face-to-face meeting with, for example, a festival director or an agent or someone within the industry that you wish to connect with. The artist mentorship meetings are similar. They're a little longer, and those are an opportunity for emerging and mid-level career artists to meet their peers who are more established in their career and ask them questions and just connect with some folks. So for example, I can tell you that we have some wonderful artists who have signed up for the artist mentorship meetings already, including the incredible Eliza Gilkinson, and there's also Layla McCalla. There's a number of people who've signed up for those. We have well over 100 industry folks who've signed up. We're still waiting for a few more folks to finish filling out their profiles. And the sign-up sessions, the sign-up link for those sessions will go live on the 19th of December. And we will announce that in our weekly conference email. You'll be able to sign up for up to 6 meetings. So it's a really wonderful opportunity, and I do highly recommend that you take advantage of that one when the time comes.
Thank you. And Tressa is spending a lot of time organizing that. So thank you, Tressa.
I'm enjoying it immensely.
That's great. And one really important thing, and probably the most important thing, is take care of yourself during the conference. It's a long week. It is a lot of people, and it can be intimidating. Make sure to spend time resting. I love to take naps, sometimes in odd places, but we won't talk about that. Bring extra shoes. It can be a lot of walking. This is a big hotel. You're moving from space to space. Make sure to wash your hands. That shouldn't have to be said, but wash your hands and be clean because you're shaking a lot of hands. Exercise, there is a hotel gym and there's a outdoor pool on the 8th floor. And then moderate your intake. This is a professional business conference. You need to make a good impression, and how you behave reflects on who you are as a person and if someone wants to book you if you're an artist. And then remember your goals. Very important. Everything that you do should be centered around your goal.
So I'm imagining that a lot of folks, especially artists, have that one of your goals will be to be visible and to be memorable. So let's talk for a couple of minutes about marketing and visibility. So performers, please ensure that your name is visible and that you're repeating it during whatever performances you may have. And be as creative as you can with that. So I've seen folks who have like a little whiteboard that they put in front of themselves when they're playing with their name written on it. Have something that you can hand to folks, or even better, that they can take a photo of with their phone camera. That includes your name and your contact information and where they can see you perform, both at the conference, if you're performing at the conference, but also at another time, or maybe a link to an online video. And I will say that business cards are definitely a better choice than CDs at a conference. And here's why. A lot of artists think by handing their CD out, they're really giving people an opportunity to have a window into their music. But the issue for a presenter or an agent is if they receive 150 CDs, they actually don't have the space to even take those back in their carry-on luggage. So often, unfortunately, your CD will just be left there at the hotel. It's much better to offer a business card, to ask for a business card, and then to do follow-up, which we'll cover in part 4 of our webinar today. Advertising. Okay, this year, for those of you who have attended before, if you have, this year we have a new policy around postering. And we're asking people to please consider not using posters at all, or to simply bring in a single special poster for our, wait for it, dun, da, 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 poster competition. So we're going to have a competition wall where posters will be put up there, and our delegates will have a chance to vote on their favorite poster in the exhibit hall. So they'll all be together in one nice, clean, not very wasteful, climate-friendly area. And the winner will be announced. And the prize for winning this poster conference is a conference registration for 2021. It's an awesome deal.
Yay.
So I highly recommend putting all of your creative energy into making the mostest, fabulous-est poster. Whatever it is that you do bring in to advertise yourself, if you are bringing something in, please remove it and take it out. Think of it like camping. Whatever you bring in, you want to haul it out. And whatever you do, do not lay promo cards down on a table. Not only is it super wasteful, but we're going to put that straight into recycling. So if you're not handing them directly to people, don't leave them for someone else to simply recycle them. It's not worth it. Less is more. We have other options. For example, we have digital advertising, which is available on screens throughout the conference. We have ads in the pocket guide. You could organize a little tote bag insert. And all of that information can be found on our website. How you can do that, not under the Attend tab. This time it's under the Sponsor tab. And in terms of advertising yourself on our digital app, you're going to get a profile link, any artist who's performing, where you can update your info so that it's correct and it's up to date. That's private showcase artists and official showcase artists. So please open that link, check the spelling of your first and last name, check all your info, make sure that your links are good. It's an awesome marketing tool.
Absolutely. So we do have many resources that can help you prepare for your conference. First of all, our social media. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Subscribe to our mailing list. If you did not receive that email that went out yesterday, make sure that you sign up for future emails. You can contact the office, or there is a sign up for emails on our website. Check our website. fullconference.org has a lot of information on it. And download our mobile app. This is not ready yet, but it will be in the next week or so. It will be announced in an upcoming weekly, and it's a huge and important, fantastic resource for at the conference. Make sure to enable push notifications when you have that app set up. This year, the attendee list will also be in the app. All of our registrants will receive an email with the opportunity to upload their photo and bio in the app. So that's exciting. And consult our schedule. Tressa already talked about where the schedule is located on our website. It's under the Attend button. And then when you click on schedule, you'll see there's a little attached to or a login to your Facebook. So if you log into Facebook through the website, you can start creating your own schedule by putting a star on things that you want to attend. And then later on, when we do have the app available, you can do the same thing, connect it with Facebook. And so you'll already have that schedule embedded in your app. And then I believe it will push notifications to you when something that you've starred is coming up. It's an amazing tool, and we put a lot of energy to make sure that it's working properly.
Okay, last item on this. Okay, last item on the previous slide.
So sorry.
There we go. Okay, phew.
Sorry.
I know we've been talking for a long time, but I just want to let you know about this Connecting Folk program, because this webinar is a lot of information. It's coming at you verbally, orally. It can feel overwhelming, but Connecting Folk is definitely a top way to avoid the overwhelm, and here's how. It's a head start on the conference, and the program matches first-time attendees with experienced attendees to share tips and advice. It's awesome. Guides are asked to make a 30-minute commitment in advance of the conference to share advice with a first-timer. And that can happen over the phone, it can happen over email. There's a lot of different ways it can happen that work for both people. And you can sign up for this online, super easy, under Programs and Events, which is under, yes, that's right, the Attend tab. The applications, though, are closing very soon. They're closing on December 12th for first-timers to sign up for Connecting Folk. So please consider heading over there ASAP and signing up for the Connecting Folk program, so you can have your own personal person already at the conference ready to help you.
Great. Okay, now on to the next slide. Sorry about that. Performing opportunities. As you know, we have official showcases. We produce 180 official showcase performances. These are start on Wednesday night from 8:30 to 10:30 approximately, and then Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evening. And then private showcases are, actually they start at 10:30 p.m. and go till 3 a.m. There are, if you are looking for private showcase performances, most of these are already booked. Unfortunately, the schedule has to be in next week, so most of our hosts have already figured that out. But there might be some areas where they do have holes or people have dropped. You're welcome to reach out to a private showcase host presenter. This is listed on our website under showcasing, and then it's private showcase, and you'll see private showcase presenters. Make sure that when you are sending emails to send a very personal email to the presenter. Don't be discouraged if this year doesn't yield bookings. Part of the conference is relationship building, and to be successful, you will build these relationships this year, and hopefully it will bear fruit in future years. Folk Alliance does host a few rooms as well. Unfortunately, those are booked as well, but we hope that you come and watch them. We typically open this up in the fall, so if you are coming for 2021, make sure to look out for those opportunities. And then we are sending an email on Monday, so next week, Monday, December 9th, to any artist that has a showcase scheduled, and we make everything is put into one system. So we'll send out an email with your itinerary. This is an opportunity, if you're an artist, to look to see what will show up in our app and in the pocket guide. And if there is an error, please reach out to the private showcase host. They are the ones that can make corrections. And there's this window of time that we are going through to make sure that we have all the correct information, so that when we put it in the pocket guide, it is correct, and that we can make sure that all the information is in the app as well. If you did miss out on the opportunity to apply for official showcase for 2020, don't worry, 2021, we're coming back to Kansas City, and we'd love to have you join us in Kansas City. Applications for 2021 open in May of 2020.
Awesome. Folks, we've made it through 2 out of 4 sections of our webinar today. So before we move into part 3, I think we have time for maybe 2 questions that we've received from webinar attendees. Leah, what do you have for us?
Yeah, so I have a few different things. One of them is, Jen, can you kind of clarify parking at the hotel? And along with that, if there's any kind of what the food options are in the hotel and close by?
Absolutely. So parking at the hotel, it's a hotel in a city, and parking is expensive. I can't recall the rates, but I want to say it's either $35 or $50 a day that you would have to arrange with the hotel directly. So it would be smart to find different ways to stay at the hotel, unless you want to pay the large parking fee. We are in the downtown area of New Orleans. There are restaurants directly across the street in many different directions. So there are a lot of food options. There is a restaurant in the hotel as well, but there are some great food options within walking distance.
Perfect. I also just wanted to remind everybody, we've gotten a few questions about the conference app. As I believe Jen was saying, it is such a great resource. And I've just confirmed from our communications team that it will be available next week. We're just getting it approved through the App Store, so keep your eyes out for that. And then also the last question, Jen, can you clarify what floors, official and private showcases, are taking place on this year, and also when private showcase, the schedule will be announced or available for people to look at?
Absolutely. So this is a very vertical year. The hotel is quite tall. Our official showcases are from the 1st floor through the 5th floor. And we have from 1 to 3 showcase performances on each floor. Because it is a vertical hotel, and because it will take longer to get from the 1st floor through the 5th floor, we did add 5 minutes to each person's performance. So instead of a 30-minute set, there are 35-minute sets, and there's a 15-minute break between each performance. So hopefully that is helpful. And then our private showcase performances, which start at 10:30 and go till 3 a.m., are on the 8th through 12th floors. The 8th floor is technically meeting rooms with the hotel, and then the 9th through the 12th floor are hotel guest rooms. The performance schedule, once the app is available, you will be able to see the performances on the app. We do not put the private showcase performances on our website. They're just available on the app and in the pocket guide that we will have at the conference, but we typically also provide an Excel spreadsheet that we'll post on our website probably in the next couple of weeks. Our private showcase hosts are scheduled to have their schedule in our system by next Friday the 13th, and then we will go for about a week just making edits to that schedule before we go to print with the pocket guide. And there are always changes. Unfortunately, the moment we print the pocket guide, there's an error in it because people drop or things have to shift. So the app is always the most up-to-date information. It's pulling information directly from our scheduling program. So a presenter, a private showcase host can go in and make updates to their schedule on site throughout the conference.
Awesome. Thanks, Jen. I really appreciate that. I think that's it for questions right now. I'll continue responding private to everyone that's been asking questions. Thank you guys for all of those questions. Tressa and Jen, I will let you continue with all of your information.
Super. Let's move on to part 3 of the webinar today, which is conference programming. As emphatically as we welcome people of all national, geographic, cultural, ethnic, social, economic, gender, sexuality, orientation, mobility, and other forms of diversity to our events and organization, we also wish to express our rejection of discrimination and harassment. And for more information about our policies and our procedures in these matters, you can visit the link below on our website directly now or by hyperlink once you download the webinar handout. So what to do when you first arrive? The first thing you're going to want to do is register. You're going to want to go to registration and get yourself your badge and your wristband, because you cannot attend any part of the conference without your badge and wristband. The hours are on the schedule in the attend tab. So it starts, I believe it opens on Wednesday.
Wednesday at 11 a.m.
Wednesday at 11 a.m. So maybe I'll backtrack and say that you could attend our Tuesday evening tote bag stuffing party without your badge and wristband, but that's it. After that, you have to have your badge and wristband. And that's where you'll pick up your tote bag and your program book. And this year, as Jennifer mentioned, we will have a pocket guide, but in the interest of greening our event, we are encouraging folks to use the app. So feel free to leave that pocket guide behind and just use the app if that's how you roll.
Absolutely. So just a few highlights of what's going on. Tressa just mentioned the tote bag stuffing and party. That we need a lot of people. We have 3,000 tote bags to stuff. And sometimes if things are going really well, we will start registering or giving badges out on Tuesday night. Don't tell our registration team that I just said that, because I can't guarantee that's going to happen, but you never know, it might. On Wednesday, we do have the first timers orientation. So that's another great way to meet people. That's typically set up where there are table mentors. And so you can, a big group, and then you can ask people on the smaller group. It's a great tool. We have our International Indigenous Music Summit is that day. And then later the evening, there's the International Folk Music Awards. That's a huge event. Layla McCullough is hosting, emceeing the awards that night. And then official showcases start directly after that. A great tool that we provide is instrument resources, probably the better word, instrument check. So this is really for instruments to be checked into a space, so you do not have to carry them around throughout the hotel. It's only for instruments. It's not for coats or bags. The room gets quite full with just instruments. This is on the 4th floor of the hotel, and it's open Wednesday starting at 11 and every day until 10:30 p.m. And then late night, we have instrument check as well in our private showcase rooms on the 8th floor. Thursday, the music camp opens, as well as we start panels, and we have peer sessions in that morning time. There's the Global Summit on Cultural Equity. Again, we encourage people to attend. This is one of our key events at the conference, and cultural equity theme is running throughout our panels in the conference, so it's an important starting point that we encourage you to participate in. As Tressa also mentioned, we have the B2B meetings, and then on Thursday, our keynote interview, Mavis Staples, is that day. It's at 3 o'clock, and we're thrilled to have her with us this year. And directly after Mavis Staples, we'll be presenting the Artist in Residence program. The health fair starts that day. We have eye exams, and then we are partnering up with the Blues Foundation, their Heart Fund. They will be doing blood tests, and that's completely free and a great resource. The exhibit hall opens on Thursday as well. Friday and Saturday are also very busy, and you will keep busy. The camp is on Friday and Saturday. We have panels again on Friday and Saturday, and then their community gathering is on Saturday. We're focusing on the whole self, mental health awareness. It's kind of a follow-up from last year's theme. Our first timers continental breakfast is Saturday morning. It's in our presidential suite. So come join us for that if you're a first timer. Our regionals meetings are actually on Friday, and then the keynote speaker Rhiannon Giddens is on Friday at 1 o'clock. Sunday, we're closing our time in New Orleans with a morning concert that starts at 10 a.m. And then our closing party is at an iconic venue in New Orleans, Tipitina's. There's the Putumayo Records is hosting an event earlier that day at Tipitina's as well. Look for more information in upcoming conference weeklies.
And I will just mention one little tiny thing before you change slides about that Celebrate NOLA morning concert, which is that it's going to be quite amazing. It's organized by and featuring a ton of incredible local musicians. I know it's easy to miss the Sunday morning concert because, well, we've all been there since Tuesday for the tote bag stuffing, but I honestly cannot recommend it highly enough this year. I have seen some of the artists who are performing, and I have talked to the woman who's helping to organize it, and please strongly consider attending this very memorable event on Sunday morning. Okay, moving right along to part 4 of our webinar, which is post-conference. Okay, before you reevaluate your conference goals, drink a lot of extra water and have a nice sleep. And then once you're feeling rested, here is how to make the most of your learning and the connections that you've made during your time at the conference. Go back to your goals and reevaluate them. So take a peek, see which ones worked, see which ones didn't, and figure out what follow-up needs to occur to help you reach the goal and complete the goal. And if you've reached some goals, give yourself a happy face on your list. You're going to want to be saving all of those business cards throughout the conference. And a little piece of personal advice would be to take that business card after you've said goodbye to the person who's given it to you and just write some kind of salient detail on that card as you put it away, just before you put it away. So what did you talk to the person about other than yourself? Make sure you're talking to folks about themselves too. And write that little detail, write something about your conversation on the card so that when you follow up, you're able to make that personal connection, which will help them remember you and also is just a very delicate and polite way of connecting. And you want to be really timely in your follow-up. So you want to have that initial communication happen within about a week of the conference, and then do a follow-up if you haven't heard within a couple of weeks. And make sure to say thank you in the email and be as courteous as possible. A lot of the folks who are in high demand for our delegates to meet at these conferences receive a great number of emails post-conference. So make sure that yours stands out as being super courteous and polite.
Absolutely. And then we always encourage people to attend our regional conferences. We have 5 regions throughout the US. The first one is coming up in May, and then that's the Southeast region. The great thing about our regions is that they are a much smaller place. It's oftentimes easier to connect. And if you know that you want to tour in the Northeast, it makes sense to go to our Northeast conference, or the Midwest to go to our Midwest Farm Conference. You'll see the dates here, and please look and consider attending one of those. And then we also encourage you to take advantage of our early bird registration for 2021. We open up registration at the conference, and that's the best and most inexpensive way to attend the conference. And we will be back in Kansas City. We had our conference in Kansas City for 5 years. It's our home base, and we're extremely excited to be back in Kansas City. It's a great location, and I know a lot of people are looking forward to being back in Kansas City with us.
Okay.
So we're now to the end.
Leah,
Leah, do we have any more
Hello.
questions?
We do. I'm just scouring through them. You guys are incredible with all these questions. I just can't keep up. But a few things that I wanted to mention just real quickly. Jen did mention we have a conference weekly. I'm not sure. I'm trying to answer questions and listen at the same time. So I'm not sure how much you went into what those are, Jen. But could you maybe talk about what our conference weeklies are and if someone's not receiving it, what they need to do in that situation?
Absolutely. So anyone that signed up to register registered for the conference, they should automatically be on the conference weekly email. And then the only way you would be dropped off of it is if you opt out of our emails. So make sure you do not opt out of our emails. If for some reason you didn't receive it, you can shoot an email over to FAI@folk.org and ask to be added to the email list. There's also an email option on our website to be added to our email list. Our conference weeklies are specifically for our registered attendees. It highlights certain things that are coming up so that you're aware of what's going on in the conference. For example, Tressa mentioned that we have the B2B and artist mentorship. If you want to know how to sign up for those, the only way that you're going to get that information is through the conference weekly. If you want to know about any schedule changes, that's where you will see that information is in the conference weeklies.
Awesome.
Do you have anything to add, Tressa?
No, just it's a really good resource. I often review them myself.
Absolutely.
Awesome. We have also received a few questions about volunteering. So I just wanted to remind everyone, Beth Hatch is our incredible volunteer coordinator. She handles all of your schedules and anything on site that you may need. If you do have questions about your schedule, about what will be expected from you, or about anything in regards to your volunteering, I highly recommend reaching out to Beth. She'll be able to answer your questions a lot better than some of the rest of the staff, as she's kind of constantly in communication with you guys. So again, her email address is volunteer@folk.org. So again, I would just highly recommend reaching out to Beth if you have any questions about that. I'm just looking through here to see what other questions we have. Someone asks, why is the keynote interview presented in the format of an interview rather than a lecture or standard presentation? Jen or Tressa, can you speak on that?
Absolutely. That is for Mavis Staples, and that was the way that she chose to present at our conference. We just announced yesterday that Melissa Block will be the individual that is interviewing Mavis Staples this year. But the Rhiannon Giddens is presented in a lecture format, speaking format.
Awesome. I'm just looking through here. Is the closing nights party available to everyone registered or just a specific group of people?
That's a great question. Anyone that's registered and has a wristband and lanyard are welcome and encouraged to attend. We will provide transportation to and from Tipitina's. We'll have a bus that comes to the hotel, picks you up, and they'll be running about every 15 minutes back and forth between the hotel and the venue. It's completely free. There will be some food there provided as well. And typically we have about 3 bands that perform. That hasn't been finalized or announced yet, but we will make sure to provide you more information in the conference weeklies.
Awesome. Can you talk more about the exhibit hall, what that entails, if there's still opportunity for artists to be involved in that?
Yes, I feel like I'm speaking a lot. That's okay. So the exhibit hall is open on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I believe we have about 2 booths open. If you are interested in securing one of those spots, you can reach out to Alex Mallet. He's our development manager, or you can reach out to Forrest Beck, who works directly underneath him. If you don't have either of the email addresses, you can email us at fai@folk.org and it will be directed to the correct person. We have some artists that have chosen to share booths as well. So that's always an option. I think we also have some artist tables this year, but Alex will be able to answer that information in detail. The exhibit hall is set up as a standard exhibit hall. There are booths, and I believe we have about 80 to 90 booths throughout the exhibit hall. And it's just an opportunity for you to walk through. We have some instrument makers. There are some agents there and artists as well. We have, for example, our regions have a booth. I mentioned earlier before Ethno USA, which is a new project that we're hosting in Folk Alliance. They will have a booth as well. So it's an opportunity to meet people and just to go around. It's open about 3 hours a day, 3 or 4 hours a day.
Awesome. Tressa, this is a question for you. Jen, I'll give you a break. Can you, Tressa, speak more about the B2B meetings? I know you mentioned that people could sign up on the 19th. Is there going to be any information before the 19th about who those mentors are? So maybe our artists can do some research on those mentors before the sign up goes live on the 19th?
Oh, that's a great question. So what I would recommend doing is taking a peek at the attendee list to see who's there. I can't actually reveal any of the folks who are participating in those meetings in advance because it just wouldn't be fair to everybody else. But you can also go to under our attend tab, under the attendee lists link there's an attending presenters choice. And if you just click on that, you'll get a swift list that's easily organizable by style of presenter. So by presenter, we mean folks who book and remunerate artists for performing at their venues or festivals or series. So you'll see a number of folks there, and many of the delegates participating in the B2B meetings are pulled from the festival and concert series lists there. But no, those names will all go live on the 19th.
And they will include a photo and bio of each presenter. And what I love
sorry, go ahead, Jennifer.
I was just going to say what I love the question was asked so that it's great to do research on them. And please, before you make these meetings, even if you know who you're talking with, don't meet with someone that doesn't present the style of music that you are performing. Don't waste their time and don't waste your time.
Yes, and it will not just be presenters participating in this meeting. We also have a number of the agencies, both large and small, that are registered for a conference that will be there. There's some music organizations. There's a number of record labels from the US and Canada and also from abroad. So it's a pretty wide range of folks, and most people who are participating in these meetings are taking between 1 and 2 hours of meetings, and that works out to between 6 and 12 meetings. So you do want to be judicious with which choices you're making, because each delegate who's signing up is only going to be able to sign up for 6 meetings of their own, and that is because in the past, when we didn't provide those types of limitations, certain delegates who were really early birds and super keeners were getting in there and booking 20 or 25 meetings. And in the interest of providing equity of access to our delegates, we've placed a limitation on the number of meetings that folks can sign up for. You're welcome to connect with me. If you have any specific questions about this, I can be reached at Tressa, T-R-E-A-S-A, @folk.org, and I'd be happy to directly answer your questions.
Awesome. So just a few more questions here. Mark is asking, are peer sessions one-on-one or a group setting? And do you need to sign up beforehand?
They are a group setting and you are not required to sign up beforehand. All of those occur on Thursday morning.
Awesome. I'm not sure if this is possible, but Anna is asking, how can they check if the information is correct that's going to be printed in the pocket guide? I'm assuming this is for artists.
So yes, it is possible. So this is the itinerary that I was talking about earlier. On Monday next week, it is my plan to send an email to all artists that have a performance at the conference, whether it's official showcase or private showcase. It's an itinerary link. And if there's information on that link that is not correct, if there's a performance that's missing or is at the wrong time, then you can reach out to the private showcase host to make a correction. The link is live, so once the information is changed, you can click on it again and it will automatically update. So that is a tool that we're using not only so that you as an artist can see how we have you listed, but as a way to make any corrections to errors, because errors happen every year. I currently can see that there are conflicts, so we can see conflicts. I have an artist that is performing at the same time in 2 different spaces, so it also helps remove that as a potential error as well.
Awesome, thank you. We do have a few more questions that we will get to, but as we are coming to the end of our time, Jen, if you wouldn't mind clicking to the next PowerPoint slide, I just wanted to let everybody know this is our contact information. So we want to hear from you. If you have questions, we are here to help. Forrest Beck is kind of our info guru. She knows all things Folk Alliance, and she can be reached at FAI@folk.org. Our phone number also is listed there if you have any questions you want to call us about. We are happy to help with anything. We are going to continue with just a few more questions while we have some time. Going back to the private showcases, I know a lot have already been booked and determined for this year, but for moving forward, Jeff is asking, are there any strategies for applying for the private showcases on reaching out to the hosts? And then Lynn asks, how many private showcases should you try to book throughout the conference?
I am happy to take this one. So I've played a number of private showcases over the years. I think 16 is too many. I think 1 is not enough. I think the sweet spot is probably somewhere between 4 and 6 or 7, with 7 being really a lot. In terms of strategies for booking private showcases. So for those of you who have not booked any and who are attending this year, this is a golden year to strategize. Go and see the rooms and see the ones that you really like and introduce yourself to the host of that room in person. Email them at the conference or find out who they are. Meet with them and make a personal connection. Grab their business card, hand them yours, tell them you love their room, that you'd really like to play it next year if they're planning to host it again. And just make that personal connection that's going to give you an opportunity to follow up and get on their radar. Many of the private showcase hosts do have their information posted on our private showcase presenters page, which is on our website, in advance of completing the booking for their rooms. And they receive, many of them receive hundreds of pitches for only dozens of slots. So whatever you can do to make a personal connection this year, because you won't be playing much, it's a super opportunity to get a chance to connect with them in person and yeah, be that memorable human being that is going to have a greater opportunity of having an impact in future years.
Awesome, thanks, Tressa. Just a few more. Courtney is asking for kind of more details on the poster contest. Is that anywhere on our website, online, anywhere?
It will be on our website soon if it's not up right now. It just went out very detailed yesterday in the email that was sent, and I know that we have every intention of having that on our website soon. I want to reiterate or follow up to that. So the reason why we had this poster contest, it came out of an assessment that we did last year about emergency and making sure that our conference is safe. And we had an assessor come in through grant funding that we received. And one thing that he noticed is that the private showcase floors are a safety hazard in the way that they're set up. It was difficult to find the wayfinding signage, and there was some areas traffic was blocked throughout the conference. So this is, as a result, we put out a call for people to ask, hey, what do you want to do? Our advisors suggested that we eliminate posters because that's causing a lot of noise. So we put this out to our membership, and many people were in favor of removing posters altogether. But ultimately, the one that received the most votes was to only have posters on the private showcase floors for those that are presenting rooms. And so that limits the number of posters. And then we decided to do this poster competition as a side, because there are a lot of great artists that have amazing posters. But we also want to make sure that the conference private showcase floors are safe. And so that's another reason why we are not letting you put cards throughout the hotel, because that can add noise and can be placed on objects that shouldn't be in the hallway anyway. Please don't leave your guitar case in the hallway. It's a tripping hazard. Those are things, if you're moving through the hallway, try not to loiter. It's good to make sure that people can easily move by you. This, again, just comes down to safety. We want to make sure that the private showcases are a safe place for everyone to be.
Perfect. One more question. Monica is asking, do you guys have any tips on efficiency instead of being overwhelmed during the showcases? I think this can be answered in two ways. One as an audience member, but also as a performer, or as an attendee, excuse me, and as a performer in regards to official showcases. Does that make sense?
Yep, I could start by saying that the first year that I was on staff as at Folk Alliance, which was the last time we were in Kansas City, my role at that time was Canadian representative, and I decided that I would attend all 60 Canadian official showcases. And that was not a plan that dovetailed well with good mental health. So that's too many. I would say, all of the official showcase artists are listed on the website, and go and take a peek. Do your research there too. See folks check out some folks that you might want to see because you're a huge fan, but also take a chance on a couple of artists. All of the artists have, material online that you can check out, videos, opportunities for you to see what they're about, and definitely, be adventurous. Last year, I stayed in a single room for a whole night, and I truly enjoyed that. I saw a couple of artists I never would have chosen off the top of my head that I super enjoyed. So yeah, just be a human being first in all things at the conference. Take good care of yourself. And I would say it's better to see 3 or 4 songs of a number of artists than to try and see one song of every artist. It just won't give you the insight that you need.
Yeah, and we did intentionally stagger performances so that you do have an opportunity to see more than one song. We have, I think, 3 to 4 performances going on at one time, and then there's a break. And so every room, there's a different number. We're very intentional. There's a huge graph here to try to make the flow of your time going up and down make the most sense. So we've tried to do that the best we can. Another thing is that if you're looking as the artist as a whole, look to see if they have an official showcase, if they also have private showcase performances. So if you have 2 different artist choices at one time, when can you see that artist at another time later during the conference?
Perfect.
And use your app and schedule these as well. Put a little star next to them so that you know what's going on next.
Awesome. So I think we've answered all the questions. And we just got Michelle just messaged saying, quote of the webinar, be a human being first. Big smile. Thanks, Tressa. So There you go. Before we wrap up, I do just want to ask Jen and Tressa if you could each share kind of the one tip or the one piece of advice that you think everyone should know in regards to coming to the conference, whether it be someone coming for the first time or the 10th time or the 20th time. What is one piece of advice that you would like to share?
I'll let you go first, Tressa.
I will say that I booked a really amazing gig by just having a random conversation about something completely not related to my career in the hot tub the first year that the conference was in Memphis. So it's back to my whole be a human being first. Honestly, that's my advice. Just be yourself and be kind and curious and supportive and community minded, and good things will come to you if you are that way.
And I'll follow up on that. Attending the panels during the day, like actually being engaged in, we spend a lot of time on what we present to you, and we're very intentional about what we do. And I think it shows a lot when you're not just going to showcase performances, but you're attending the daytime professional development. It's a great way to interact with people, and they see you, and people see that you're actually interested in enhancing and bettering your career. But I spend most of my conference behind a curtain trying to like move pieces. So I don't actually experience the conference very much.
Well, thank you, everyone. We really appreciate you guys joining us. Jen, Tressa, thanks for sharing all of your advice for the conference. We hope everyone that's in attendance, we hope that you learned something. We're excited to meet you all in New Orleans. Please, like Jen said, come up and say hi to us. A lot of the time we are hidden behind closed doors, trying to keep things running smoothly. And so getting a short break to talk to you guys and get to know you and why you're coming to our conference really does mean a lot to us. So we hope we get to connect with as many of you as we can. Again, if anyone has any questions, we are here to help you and help your career. So feel free to reach out to us through email, through phone call, through social media. We have an incredible communications team. Follow us on social media. Sign up for our email list. Stay in communication. That's what we're here for. I think that is all we have for you today. Keep an eye out for future webinars, future programming that we do, and we hope you guys enjoyed. Again, you will be receiving a survey. We love to hear your feedback so that we can learn, so please complete that. Obviously, the handout is also available to you, and if you have any questions, again, let us know. But thank you for joining, and we will see you in New Orleans in January. So have a great rest of your day, guys.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.